Hello, welcome back to LiveENODING. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how to create a procedural barcode using Sverchok Add-On in Blender. So we have actually a couple of ways to do this properly. This is the pseudo, kind of like a fake barcode, but it's still looking kind of like a barcode. So this barcode would not actually make sense. This is basically just a kind of like a randomly generated stripes. So I can make like 100 or like even like 250, doesn't matter. But you can see the effect still pretty neat, even though this is not like a real, the barcode doesn't mean anything for this one. Let's reduce this to 10. Let's take a look how we can generate this. So basically I'm using a plain nodes in Sverchok, and here I have two vertices. Let's see if I increase it, I get a different result, but basically 2 here, but here I have 10 plus 1, so I have 11. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But it's basically this is originally just like a plane. If I change the color, this is just a plane where the face is actually being broken up. So I have 11 vertices here and 2 vertices top bottom. And yeah, it's just a plane where I actually have multiple number going in. I could use like a random number if I plug in random number there. So now I have actually like a more variety of random stripes being generated, all using this value, like so. So it's all random number, and I can adjust all this manually. So that's one way to do it, but you can also use this random number, but it's only like between two number, for example, maybe 0.5 and 1.5. And the result will be number that's kind of flipping between these two values. And if you plug that in, so we only have two different stripes, the thicker one and thinner one. So whichever barcode you like, you can use it. This actually remind me of an artwork by Japanese electronic artist designer. This is exactly that same kind of experience. He made this kind of installations with music, electronic, and you actually goes inside it, and you can stand on one of these and then experience like a really weird feeling. I'm gonna take a snapshot. Yeah, I'm gonna just take a snapshot like that. I like this. If I'm not wrong, I actually did something like this in the past, but this one is much simpler. So this is the pseudo barcode. I'm gonna save it and also save the zip. Here we go. And there's another setup that I want to show you, which is actually a real barcode. A real barcode. This one actually, I'm pretty sure this could work at some point, but let's see. Basically what I have these animation nodes looking at the group, but we're gonna go to Sverchok first. This is what I call the real barcode. With a real barcode, basically you have like 7 stripes. So you have like imagine you have this divided by 7, and then for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then for you either have white color or black color. So it's either 1 or 0. And you have basically 10 digit 0 to 9 that's being represented by these stripes. So here I have the digit. Originally I'm using list input where I can type in integer number 1 and 0, or yeah, but I decided to use this formula node. It's easier to type, and then I put all of them together into a list join, where later on I'm using this list item to generate the object. So if we want item number 0, you can see that represents number 0 if I'm not wrong, and then 1, or actually the first one is number that represent digit 1. So I probably need to swap this around. So, but this is like a 10 different number. I mean, 10 different barcode to represent a number. And I'm still using the plain, and I can increase it or decrease it. So what's actually happening here is, if you want like a, oops, let's make it a white color. So if we have like this represent a number, and then I just duplicate it, and then I change the number again, change another number. Gonna keep doing this. So they are all supposedly represent a number. And if I'm happy with this, I can kind of group all of them together. Control G, and I switch to animation nodes where I'm actually arrange this a little bit better. Something like that. So this is actually supposedly, I think, the barcode that should kind of work. But there's a barcode has some kind of rules where I think in order for this to work, it needs to kind of register to the machine. I think the laser one should work. There's a lot of apps out there that kind of claiming they can scan a barcode, but they don't always work. Keep that in mind. And other than barcode, I'm actually interested with like creating a procedural QR code. QR code is similar idea, I think, but it's much more interesting. It has a lot more pattern instead of just a number. I think this is the super basic barcode representing 0 to 9 using this kind of like a binary code. This code upside down, they're all still kind of unique in a way. So yeah, that's a quick one actually, but this is interesting where you can actually do this all in one go. I'm coloring the vertex of these objects also. This is why this is working, because I'm using the color. I'm using this number to colorize this object's vertices, which actually works on the fly. So this is what this is the interesting part. I think you can definitely give this a try. It's just a play with nodes to get this to work. I think it's very interesting. Even though this is basic, if you understand this, it's gonna help you for the next level of procedural work, I guess. So there you go. That's another look at the barcode setup using Sverchok Add-On, and also I have animation nodes help a little bit here and inside Blender. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.